Hey guys, today we are going to be getting our image ready for our project. So we're going to start with that picture that you took. I'm going to use Mittens, my kitten, just to make this go a little bit more smoothly. But our goal today is to get our picture to be, nice contrast, light lights, dark darks, and then we're going to posterize it down. And we are going to be removing the background. So what's great about Photoshop is Photoshop, this newest version, has a spot where you can remove the background. So the way that I found best to get to it, because sometimes these tools are hidden, is if you come up here, you click on your magnifying glass, and if you scroll, you will see remove background. It's a quick action. It's usually in properties, but for me this is just the easiest way to find it. So I can click on this guy. Now it's going to take a minute to think about what to do, but it should remove our background for us. So ta-da! Obviously some of Mitten's whiskers kind of got the chop, but I am okay living with that. So at this point you should have opened up your image into our program Photoshop and have removed the background. Now, if your background didn't remove, your other option is this. So let me back up so I can show you. So I'm going to close out of this. Undo. Okay, and you can see how it's selected. We're going to be doing the same thing, but using a different tool. So let me deselect this. Okay, and I'm going to use this tool right here. It's called the Quick Selection tool. And I can quickly, for the most part, go around and select my areas, especially if what I'm trying to select is darker or lighter than the background. So as long as there's that kind of shift in color, I am able to do that. Now I can make my brush really, really small and I can go after these whiskers if I want, but for what we're doing, it's really not going to make too much of a difference. So now that I have my cat selected, let's say if I go too far, you can see it selected this area. I can press Alt and I can erase it back really easily. So there, I've erased it back. Okay, and what I can then do is inverse it so it's just the background, and then I can delete my background if it wasn't locked. Delete. There we go. Okay, all gone. So select, deselect. So that is just the other way. Now, for me, doing it through the quick actions of removing background. Oh, let me deselect my selection. Deselect. Okay, let's remove our background using their way. They do a little bit better around the fur. So I'm just going to keep it like this. Now, once I've removed the background, I can go to Image Adjustments, and the first thing I like to adjust is my levels. And you can see I am not on the right thing. If you look down at my layers, it has selected the layer mask and not the picture, so that's not going to help us. We need to select this picture. Now I'm going to go to Image Adjustments Levels. So I'm going to pull in this arrow right here to make my dark tones darker. I'm going to pull in the arrow on the right to make my light tones lighter so I get a little bit more contrast. And then I like to play with this middle arrow to decide where I want my middle of my tones to fall. So that looks good. So I'm going to press OK. And now I'm going to be turning my picture black and white. So I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Black and White. And what I like to do is I like to play with some of these sliders to see if I can get more contrast. Because Mittens is an orange kitten, I like to play with the red slider. And if I bring that more towards the darker values, I'm going to start pulling out some of those darker stripes and more contrast in the fur. Okay, I can play with the yellow and kind of do the same thing if I'm thinking it's looking too bright. Okay, and you can play with all of these. Some won't do a lot, like the green one isn't going to do a lot for our orange kitten. But it's that same kind of idea. Okay, so I'm going to press OK. And I've got my picture ready to go. So I'm going to File, Save As. I'm going to be saving it onto my computer. Okay, so I can grab it in Illustrator. Okay, and that is the first